What's up, boys? What's on for today? Easy answer. We're going to talk about stretch resolution and how it's not just black and white between you play stretched or you don't, and you play native, which is probably your native is probably 1920 by 1080. And when people think of stretch, they think of 1080 by 1080. There's a lot more stuff in between we've got to try and break down and consider. And so anyway, let's just jump straight into the video then. Alright, stretch res, let's try and figure this shit out. Here we go. Okay, super quickly, what is stretch resolution? Okay, you can think of your monitor as a y-axis, the up and down, the x-axis across.
Man, this place looks expensive.
You're pretty much lowering the ratio to have the game more distorted along the x-axis. So the y-axis, the up and down, if you tighten the resolution of that axis, you're pretty much adding vertical field of view. I'm so bad at explaining stuff. Now I'm going to start showing you what happens to the vertical field of view when you start changing the resolution. This is the standard display resolution on my computer, not stretched at all. This is stretched slightly, 1600 by 1080, very slightly. This is stretched a little bit more, 1400 by 1080. And this is big time sweat, stretch 1080 by 1080. Here's all of them side by side. As you can see, you're gaining a lot more vertical field of view.
No shit.
Okay, might not seem much, increasing your vertical field of view. What's the big deal? When you go into a game, I'll show you, or when you go to certain tiles, and like jungle gyms and loops, what you're seeing is actually nuts. So here's standard resolution, native resolution, pretty much what most people I'd say using, pretty much what you can see as well. So the killer hugs the tile, the wall. This is 1600 by 1080. This is pretty common with streamers. I think a lot of them are actually reverting back to native, but this is a pretty common one. I used to use this a bit too, but as you can see, the additional information you get from more vertical field of view kind of comes in handy as mainly, not so much looping, but early warning. If the killer's coming, you're behind something, you've got plenty of time to react. Okay, this is 1400 by 1080, kind of going further down. You can see you're getting obviously more horror, you're getting more vertical field of view, obviously, so you cannot get snuck up on. Let's say you were behind this wall, or a wall of this size, crouched, working on a gen. You can see killers coming off from the distance. That's what's so strong about it. And in this case with 1400, if you, what a lot of stretched players seem to do, or maybe it's just my opinion, they have their camera pretty much aimed at the dirt because they're trying to get a peek over the tile to see if they can see the killer's like head or something. And when you use 1400, it's kind of getting that way, it seems. Here we have 1080 by 1080 resolution, probably the worst of the worst. I mean, if you really look, you can see what the killer's doing on the other side of the tile if he's moonwalking on mind gaming, but this, keep in mind, is using the like bottom end of the barrel, like bottom end of the scale when it comes to res. Like this is to the max, which I only know one person who does this. But what it gives you really, I mean, it's not so much for looping in my opinion. It's for early warning. I mean, you can pretty much see the whole map from where Ash is standing. You're behind a wall, you're hugging a wall, and you can see almost the entire map. That's kind of nuts. That's free information, which shouldn't be the case. So this is all the resolutions combined, so you can see them all at the same time. Far left, native 1920, followed by 1600, 1400, and then 1080. Whether you use stretched or not, totally up to you. Whether your excuse is you use it because you like the look of it, no one's gonna know. It's up to you. You can continue using it, and then after the game wait till the end game chat and just hit him with the GG, easy baby killer. So, hey, up to you. Do whatever you want. Also, super quickly, I forgot to add, if you play a short killer, maybe Pig or Ghostface, and you're trying to ambush, like crouch and ambush, or if you're trying to crouch and go to Night Shroud as Ghostface, and try and surprise them at a filler tile or a filler pallet or something, and they play stretched, yeah, good luck with that.
God damn it, are you fucking with me?
Okay, so ideally by the end of this, hopefully I didn't confuse the fuck out of you and you actually kind of get what I'm saying. It's not so much really, bottom line really, it's not so much for looping, that's when it helps you out the most. It's for free information. It's mostly for seeing the killer coming before. You can just sit on a gen in peace behind cover, you got a wall on your side, and you can just see off into the distance. It's nuts. So it's not so much directly, depends how far you go in terms of resolution, how far down you go. But it's more so seeing over stuff in the distance. That's what it seems like to me, at least. Early warnings, planning ahead, free information on comms, just giving that information to your team for free. But when it comes to actual looping side of it and like mind games and stuff, I don't feel like that's where it comes into play as much. I guess bottom line, do I think it's strong? Oh yeah, absolutely. But if it's a pub game, definitely not a comp or a scrim, and you're only playing slight stretched, honestly, it's not the end of the world. It's technically still cheating, but I'd say it's more to the side of just a unfair advantage, like a slight advantage. There's only one example that I can think of where using stretch res is justified. Using 1080 by 1080 is actually justified. There is literally one example, one justified example for it, and I'll show you that right now. And that's using Jane, baby. Jane's pretty thick as it is, but if you want to step it up a few notches, you got to play a 1080. Let me just change the quality to ultra. Give you guys a little spin. Anyway, you cheeky buggers, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
So yeah, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Good, great, grand, wonderful.
Push the button. Come on, push the button.